All right. So you guys have probably heard the news that the Epstein client list is no longer coming out. Um, a while back, Trump said that it was going to come out. He said it did, in fact, exist. He said it was on his desk, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Now, if you guys paid attention to the last Trump presidency where he said he was going to declassify the JFK files, and even in his current presidency, he said he was going to do the same thing, JFK files, MLK files, all of that. He hasn't done any of that. Like, Trump is a constant liar, and he's lied to the people over and over and over, and he's going to keep lying to the people, and there's a specific reason why, and we're going to uncover that in this video. Now, I want you guys to understand, this list, everybody has acknowledged that it exists. I think at one point even Elon Musk acknowledged that it existed, and then when he left the Trump cabinet, he literally said the list is never coming out because Trump is on it. And that's the most important part that you guys need to hold on to. But I'm going to show you what they're saying on the Patrick Bet-David podcast. And I'm going to show you what Andrew Tate said on that same podcast a little while back, like maybe 8 months ago or so, that basically predicted that this was the way it was going to go.
We are built on pedophilia and blackmailing the most powerful
What
people.
do you mean we are built? Define that. Do you mean our entire country, our entire government, our entire FBI, CIA?
I'm saying this. Whoever,
or this is one little operation that
Adam,
they don't want to expose.
Whoever he was working for, Epstein, Mossad, CIA, everything. Apparently, the most powerful people on the world were flying to an island and having sex with underage kids because she said it. There's tens of thousands of hours of them doing it. If we're built on that and the most powerful people that are running the show are in charge, the guys telling Cash Patel, the thing that you just read, shut up. Shut up about it. Hold on, you know who I am. He knows who I am. I want accountability for everybody. If it's Trump, if it's Bill Gates, if it's Bill Clinton, I don't give a shit if it's the president of anything. Expose them because, Adam, the truth has to come out.
Okay, so I only have one question for you, my dear friend. I agree with you, but at what price?
Take a deep breath.
Okay, that's the crux of this whole thing. Adam says, at what price? You want the truth at what price? Now, you're probably going to say at any cost, because the guy who's talking, the guy Vinny, he's talking, that's going to be his whole thing. He's going to go on to say at any cost, it doesn't matter the cost, yada, yada, yada. Okay. He is a crusader for truth. Many people are crusaders for truth. I'm not going to say you shouldn't be a crusader for truth. I'm not going to say you shouldn't want truth. You should. But like Adam said, at what cost? What is it going to cost you? Right? Now, I'm going to put it to you just like this. If that list comes out, the whole world runs off the rails, right? Who was it? The guy Epstein. He got offed because, what was it? King Charles, formerly Prince Charles. That guy got mentioned in the list. It was mentioned that he was, at Epstein Island and he did this and he did that. He got mentioned in somebody's lawsuit. And shortly after, Epstein came up gone, right? So you can understand, powerful people aren't going to let you throw away. They're not going to let you just upend what they got going on. Now, I'm going to show you guys what Andrew Tate had to say on this very same podcast a while back.
Because it is your primary objective. Money is the driving force behind all politics. It always will be, because it is your primary objective to not only make people believe they can be rich, but to keep your rich people happy, to keep your oligarchy happy, and to keep them politically invested in you. So you talk about the Epstein list. I would argue it's a very similar scenario. It's all about money. It's all about who has the money and controlling the money. Is America as a country prepared to upset all of its richest people?
Okay, and that's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. Rich people want to do debaucherous things. They want to do hood rat stuff with their friends, and they don't want you telling them no, stop, or don't. The Epstein list, they're not just going to let you come out there and expose them. They're not going to do that. Why would they let you do that? Why would they let you just come on out there and expose what they got going on? They're not going to do that. So in doing that, you piss off all the world's billionaires, because everybody who got some money, everybody who's worth over a couple $100 million has been to Epstein's island, and they didn't played in whatever dubious snow he got going on out there. So they're not going to let you just come out with that list.
I don't know. Is it? Is it prepared to upset all of its richest people to appease bloodthirsty brokies who don't even care about justice? They just want the drama. Another question, because I would argue that the murders that happen every day on the street are very interesting, but no one cares about that. MS-13 and all this shit, no one really cares about that. But this Epstein list they really care about. They want justice, sure, but it's a drama. It's interesting. They want to find out. They're curious. And I'm asking you, as a professional, you're in charge of a country. Your primary objective is to keep your oligarchy happy, to keep the wealth inside of your nation, and to make them obey you when it comes to sanctions and such other things, and to ensure that the US dollar becomes and stays the predominant currency globally. There's a bunch of bloodthirsty brokies on the internet who barely pay taxes who want to go through a list. Who are you going to prioritize? Who do you care about?
It's never going to be the little guy. It's never, ever, ever going to be the small guy. And this is what people just don't get. Trump is a billionaire himself, has been a billionaire for a long time. He's been to Epstein's Island. Why would he out himself? Why would he put himself in that kind of position? He's not going to do it. He's absolutely not going to do it. It'll just be, it's stupid. It's career suicide, political suicide. And like Andrew was saying, you're going to piss off all the people in your nation who have the power to, in fact, give you global power, right? The chain of command is not going to fold on itself because a bunch of poor people don't like what's going on. Now, I'm not okaying. I'm not saying it's okay for, people to do anything with kids. I'm just simply saying there's a lot of other things that you need to worry about before you worry about what the rich people are doing.
I'm not saying it's fair, but anyone who believes the legal systems are fair is a dumbass anyway, because the legal system's never been fair. There's always been a who are you involved in all legal cases. So when you talk about the Epstein things, I sit and think it's all money orientated, because broke people like to think that rich people should be held accountable like broke people. And that's a great idea. But guess what? They're not. They're not. Rich people have a different capability to fight against legal cases than a broke person. They can have better lawyers. They have better media spin. They have PR. They have news outlets. I'm not talking about myself because I'm not rich like these people. These people own news networks. They can affect public sentiment, which affects a jury, which affects their case. This is the bottom line of it. At the top level, at the top echelon of fame and money, legal cases aren't even about law. They're just a circus. If they pick you up, it's only deliberately to attack your image. It's not even about law at that point, like Trump. It was only to attack his image. With me, it was to attack my image. They didn't give a shit. They got a conviction.
Now, you guys will notice that with this whole Epstein thing, they're like, who are you going to put in jail? Like even the people who are in trouble, they or the people who would be in trouble, they know you can't just put them in jail. They know that you just want to destroy their public image. What was the guy? Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein's not in jail. Harvey Weinstein is not in jail. He got out because they didn't have enough to convict him and to even keep him. So they put him in jail for a little bit, and they gave him a BS conviction. He gets out. He's out. He's free. Now his name is dirt, but he still has all his money. So he can still affect things from behind the scenes. He didn't lose all of his influence. He still has influence behind the scenes. He just can't, do anything publicly. But all the other people saw what happened. The crowd turned on Harvey Weinstein, didn't give him a fair shake, and then they just put dirt on his name. People see this kind of stuff. And it only takes you having one Harvey Weinstein where you can't totally convict the guy to where all the other rich people are going to circle the wagon and they're going to be like, nope, we ain't letting this come out. It's only going to be one. You got your one. Well, technically two, right? You got your Jeffrey Epstein. You got him locked up and now he's finito. And then you got Harvey Weinstein. You locked him up, made him look bad. All the rest of these rich folks are not going to let that happen to them. It's like, yeah, you got your lucky shot with those two, but ain't gonna be no more. You ain't taking nobody else off. They know most people just want drama and bull crap. It's just a reality TV show. Y'all don't really want justice.
Talk shit about keeping me in a country where I couldn't work, trying to take away all my money, and slandering me every day on the news. That's all they wanted to do. So you have to analyze these things as a professional and understand you're talking about the most powerful people in the world on this list, perhaps. and you're asking why has the list not come out, I would argue that the most powerful people in the world, if they have half a brain, are talking to Cash and Pam and saying, look, maybe this is on, maybe I'm on that list, maybe I did something bad, but also look at all the good I've done, this. You want to appease a few Twitter autists, but it's going to have this consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence. And then as a rational adult, there's rational conversations to have. And rational conversations are about subjectivity and compromise. It's not about sitting and saying, that's the law, so that's what we're going to do, da-da-da. And that's what we all like to believe, that the law is the law, and we all stick to the law. It doesn't work that way.
It don't work that way, and it's never going to work that way. Those rich folks that are on that Epstein client list, they have more value. A doctor has more value than a firefighter. And a firefighter and a doctor has way more value than the trash man. Most people just can't see that. These rich people, yeah, sure, they're disgusting. They're dubious people. But they all have more value than the common man or woman. It's especially when we start talking about, for political purposes and economic purposes and things like that. They're not going to just start convicting all these uber rich people. It's not going to happen. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime. You've never seen this happen. You're not going to see kings in court. That's not what's going to happen. So you got to let that go. This whole notion of justice at any cost, get out of here. This is not fantasy land. Wake up. This is America, where the dollar reigns supreme.